Okay, so today I want to talk about what happens when life happens, when unexpected things happen, and because we maybe lack understanding that we won't get till later, we call them terrible, horrible, and a catastrophe. Such as job losses, friendship losses, relationship losses, things of that nature. I have been through many of those and I have freaked out through every single one of them. And I lived. And in the end, I can say that with some insight, you will see why those things had to come to an end. And people always would say to me, especially like about my ex marriage, oh, you'll see one day why it had to fall apart so something better could come along for you. I wanted to punch those people in the throat at the time. No, they were just being helpful, but it was extremely frustrating. But it's like, because I don't care about the future I'm in right now. I have to get to the future, and I'm so filled with pain, and I'm struggling so much. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. So I just felt like the future isn't really relevant to me. I need to get through right now, and right now it's excruciatingly painful. If you're going through this right now, I feel for you. I understand. It will get better. Trust me. Everybody heals at their own pace. It may take you longer, a little bit longer than some people think that it should, or whatever, but it's just going to take however long it takes for you to heal and get over it, and that's fine. My divorce, it took about 3 years for the most part, to get over it. And there's still a part of me that will always feel some kind of way about it. I'll just say that. There's still some part of me that will always have certain feelings attached to that, and that's just the way it is. I became impatient with myself because I was like, well, getting over it means that I don't feel anything when I think of the situation and what all went down. And to be honest with you, that may never happen. And maybe the best that can be hoped for with anybody or any trauma that you go through, say you were raped or, betrayed, someone stole all your money, somebody burned down your house. Okay. It's not reasonable to expect that anything that caused you so much pain is just going to disappear. It's going to go away and you're just going to forget about it. You don't have to think about it. Wouldn't it be nice if that could happen? I would be like Men in Black. I would go bloop and just erase all memory of my ex-marriage and the person that I married. But that's neither here nor there. Not to bash that person, but that was just definitely a learning experience. So I couldn't see then when it happened. I just thought somebody that I loved just didn't want to act right, didn't want to do right, and it was just the end of the world. I was embarrassed because it hadn't even been a year that I had my wedding, and it was over, and that's embarrassing because the first thing I thought people were going to think about me was, what did she do to run that man away from her? It must have been something she did. I mean, this was the negative self-talk I had. And truth be told, I don't think people were really thinking that. I don't think people really cared. In the end, I was so nervous about telling people, and they were like, okay, that's a shame, I'm sorry that happened, and they just went along their lives. If you are going through that, just know that people are so preoccupied with their own crap that they have to deal with, they're not really thinking about you. And if they say, okay, I'm sorry, you just get it out, you tell people about it when you're ready to tell them, and then just tell them, I don't really want to talk about it, and you just move on. And that helps the best than feeling like you have to hide it. Like, I felt like I had to hide it forever, and I did. And it was like this extra burden on top of my feelings that I was carrying. I couldn't see when it happened that it could be the best thing to happen to me. And I'll tell you, one time when I was crying, it felt as though I heard something say in my mind, if you knew what was coming for you, you would not be crying right now. Now, I don't know what the origin of that is. Maybe it just came from my mind, my subconscious. Who knows? I'm a spiritual person. I believe differently. But I could not really conceive of that at the time. Now I can kind of see it more. I have had time to think, and I'm beginning to see where it's it's kind of lucky that I got divorced. It's probably the best thing that could have happened in this scenario. I chose to marry somebody that I shouldn't have, and the best thing for me was to get out of that somehow. And I was a person that I am a very committed person. Divorce is not something that's in my vocabulary. That's not something that I wanted. So something so horrible and bad had to happen to force me out of that situation, because that's not where I was supposed to be. And that's the way I choose to look at it now. And I feel a lot better about it. Job losses. So that kind of set me up. I lost my job last year. And it wasn't the worst thing that ever happened to me. It surprisingly, because everything that had happened with my divorce, and during the time I was going through a divorce, I was working at this job that was just a freaking nightmare. The bosses were terrible. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And I was just so embattled all the time in every aspect of my life. And personal, going through a divorce, and you go to work every day and you have to fight these people that are just like not physically fight, but you know what I mean. It just wasn't safe anywhere. But after I went through that, I went to the next job, and I was laid off from that job. And when it happened, it was like, because I had gone through so much, it's like, meh, like I can deal with this. So I definitely feel like I'm a stronger person. It actually helps you to see the positive in situations, because I was like, all right, well, I lost my job. That means I'll move back home. I'll get to spend more time with my family, catch up on everything, and, look for another job and just do my thing while I do that. And it has. And it has been like a blessing to my life. And so if you're feeling like right now that you just can't go on and everything is falling down around you and it's the worst, please hold on. It's going to get better. I promise, promise, promise. I'm a very sensitive person, very emotional person. I'm a Scorpio. And I'm a textbook Scorpio. And I feel things very, very deeply. When I went through my divorce, I went through everything. I went through depression. I wanted to end my life. The pain was so great. And I can tell you right now, just thinking about the person I was, it kind of makes me want to cry for that person. But I am so strong now. I know I'm going to be all right. And I know that whatever's coming for me down the line is going to be good. So you should know that too. Please hold on. It does get better. Believe in yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest in making yourself look good, or do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good. Just live day to day. If you can't conceive of years down the line, things getting better, just do the best you can every day and keep walking, keep stepping. It will get better. So that's all I wanted to say, and just I'm open to comments and questions, and otherwise, take care. Bye.